Welcome. This is UAP Truth 33. I'm John. I'm your host. Or John sees Truth 33, depending on what platform you're watching on. Either way, you'll find me. Today, it's a very important show. We're talking about the new movie, The Age of Disclosure, just premiered at the new film festival, new Dan Farron film. It appears that individuals in that movie were threatened and warned with dire consequences if they appeared in any documentary. So we're going to get into that today. That and the fact that these things have been with us all through history. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Yeah, so look, the fact that these people are being threatened and they're as high up as they are in the government. Not that I think that anything's going to happen to any of them. They're just too visible. They're too out in the public and they're too high up in the government. They have too many connections. I can't see somebody taking any of those people out like they did Amy Eskridge. Now, if you're like me or the average Joe and we knew something, there's a good chance we might not make it. And that's a shame. We need to turn the tables on these bad actors, these individuals that are running these ops. That's what they are. They're ops. Um, it's a shame, man. We're supposed to be living in America, man, in a free society where freedom of speech, freedom of press, uh, freedom to speak the truth. Well, wow. The fact that we're even talking about that is insanity. This isn't China. This isn't Russia. Like, what is going on? Not free to speak the truth. And it's a fact. It's 2025, man. I'm going to tell you there's two things that you do not have a right to that you think you have a right to. Number one is the freedom to speak the truth. Number two is the freedom of privacy. There is no privacy. You know, back in the 90s, they used to say, oh, they're going to chip everybody. Everybody's going to have a chip, you know? And then it turned out they don't have to chip us. We walk around with a chip every day, right here, man. This is the chip. I'm laughing, but it's really not funny. But it's so ironic to be living in America in this day and age when everything has been turned upside down. It's just crazy, man. And the fact that these individuals, you know, the Lou Elizondos, the Christopher Mellons, the fact that they receive threats and whatnot, that is just crazy. And the other fact in this film that they really push, one of the points is that, so okay, I'm gonna break it down for you. Most of you already know, but some of you don't. So I'm going to tell you. So the two main points is non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is ongoing, and it's been going on for a really, really long time. There's some that believe they were here before we were. That's crazy, right? But here's the twist. So Crick, I forget what the other guy's name is, but these were the guys that discovered the DNA strand, right? The double helix. And Crick, it's well known. He said that it appeared that this was designed. You know, and there's been other scientists that come out and say that there's an actual code in our DNA. Most of our DNA, they used to call it junk DNA, but that just meant we don't know what this DNA is, so therefore it's junk. Because that's how these scientists and you know people think. This the scientific community as a whole is almost like a religion, man. You can't step outside the bounds or you get ostracized. Just look at Avi Loeb, all the flack that he caught over a Muamua because he had the guts to say, "Man, this thing is flying." you know, it's not a rock floating through space. Being uh, moved by gravitic forces. No, this thing is flying, and man, he caught hell for that. He did. I mean, he got famous off it, but man, did he catch a lot of flack for that? Still does. I seen him on I forget what show that is, man. Another scientist. He's always talking about the Jasons and stuff. Damn it, I'll come back to it. But anyway, he was on his show, and the dude was like laughing at him. Just totally being hypercritical and condescending, and man, what can I say? I felt bad for him, and this is the nature of the world we live in. People getting threatened for telling the truth, people being ostracized from the scientific community because they tell the truth. Hey, this thing's moving anomalously, man. It doesn't make sense. It just, and these people just make up some dumb excuse for why it's being intelligently controlled. It's just, man, they tried to say that it was hollow and it was as thin as like a thin sheet of metal and that the sun's rays were propelling it. They had to make up all these crazy theories that even sound crazier than the fact that it's possibly an alien artifact, under intelligent control. No, no, they had to make up this big story about it being as thin as a thin sheet of metal, yet it's as long as 3 football fields, but it's so lightweight that the sun's rays are what's propelling it through space. Like, get the man, come on. You know what I mean? I mean, it's crazy, right? Wow. The Muamua, man. Avi Loeb. Gotta love him. Hey, he's Harvard. He's a Harvard professor. Like, he knows his shit. Sad. It really is. So all these people, these high government officials, high intelligence, counterintelligence, ex assistant secretary to the Department of Defense, Secretary of Defense, and all these labels and stuff. You got Carl Nell, you got Admiral Gallaudet. I mean, a rear admiral, dude, telling you that these things are in our oceans. They're hiding in our oceans. Catalina Island, you know, and people are you still got these paid debunkers like Mick West and who's the other guy, Shermer. Come on, man. The jig is up. It's over. And look, I was watching The Backyard Professor last night. I love that dude, man. Seriously. Like he keeps it real. Like to the point where he doesn't care, man. He's gonna tell you how it is. And I respect it. I respect it. I had to even tell him, like, yo, watch. Don't get too on the right or the left, or you're gonna end up losing half your viewers. Man, did I catch hell for leaving that comment? But yeah, dude, like it's just crazy. So we don't have the right to tell the truth, and we don't have a right to privacy. And if you say, look, and if you say the wrong thing, about something you may know that you shouldn't know, it could be over for you. Rest in peace, Dr. Amy Eskridge. But I don't think that's going to happen to these people in this documentary. It's crazy, man. The other thing I want to get into, I believe, and I'm not going to go too all ancient aliens on it, but I am going to go. I'm going to tell you what I think. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me. That's fine. But I think what we have here, like I've read the Bhagavad Gita, I've read the Bible. I've gotten into a lot of written works about ancient writings. And it appears that these things, they show up in these ancient scriptures. These beings, the Naga, the serpent, demigods and such, angels, demons, the jinn, uh, and I believe they're all true dimensional. I kind of take the same view as Hal Puthoff, uh, John Keel, guys like that. I just feel that they were right. And the reason why is I've had experiences in my life where I felt as though I hate even telling people, man, because it sounds crazy, but I felt as though something was communicating with me through the things in my environment. And it was being done in such a complex, cryptic way that I can't really explain it without sounding absolutely batshit crazy. But I'm going to tell you it had to do with complex, layered synchronicities. Symbols, a lot of symbols, reappearing and reoccurring over and over. I'll tell you, owls was one of them. Just one of the reasons why I keep these little statues of owls everywhere. The all-seeing eye was one of them. Like, did you know that there's an owl on the back of the $1 bill? I'm gonna post it here. I'm gonna show you right here. There's an owl on the back of the $1 bill, and that was pretty much the icing on the cake of the symbols, where I felt that there's something higher than me, way more advanced, that has the ability to do this type of thing. I mean, you want to talk about power, dude. It's unexplainable. But those of you that know,